We have several pieces of information to share about Tesla today. First, at a recent media briefing, Tesla's global vice president Grace Tao said that Tesla's Megapack factory in Shanghai is on track to be completed in the first quarter of next year. She also answered questions on the superchargers in China and the vehicle price concerns. Second, Adam Jonas of Morgan Stanley dropped a new note, this time sharing their doubts China would allow Tesla's FSD and AI in the country. They call it a dual-purpose element that is used for both cars and embodied AI, robots. Third, our very own super Tesla YouTuber Brian White did some old-fashioned investigative journalism. He was physically on site at Giga Mexico, and today he'll share what he found. And finally, Tesla has filed 4 very fun trademarks. So, perfect person for us to talk today is Brian White. He has a YouTube channel called FutureAza, and what makes him different than any other Tesla YouTuber, he travels. He goes on site, and he's been traveling, does great work. You should check out his YouTube channel, and you'll see some great investigative reporting that no one else does. Thank you so much, Brian.
It's great to be here. What an adventure it's been here in Mexico. I'm here for a few more days, getting some more coverage, but you learn a lot by just being here.
Yeah, we'll cover what you did figure out and what you pulled out. I love it. This is fun. So let's start with Tesla news that is actually shared by Tesla executives, and that's always great. This is Grace Tao, or also known as Tao Lin in China. She's the global vice president of China, and she's really one of the main spokespeople, one of the main top executives that's explaining what's going on in China to the world. And a number of the ex-users in China shared what happened. So apparently at a recent media briefing on Monday, Vice President Tao Lin confirmed that Shanghai's Megapack factory is expected to be completed on schedule in 2025. This other person explained a little bit more, said that not only is it completed, it's going to be the first Megapack factory outside the US, and that also Giga Shanghai itself, the auto factory, is going to maintain its current production. They are confident in the Chinese market because, the Chinese market went through some sort of deflation, economic turmoil, but it looks like things have, at least in the last several weeks, flattened out a bit. And that when it was asked questions about the supercharger expansion in China, she said that it's ongoing in mainland China. And when she was asked a question about vehicle price concerns, she's basically said, hey, the pricing is market-driven and will aim to meet market demands. What's your thoughts on all those comments?
All of those are exactly what we wanted to hear. If there's one thing China is known for, it's when they set a target date, they hit it. So if there was a delay, that would actually be news. There's no delay. This is on schedule. And in terms of market pricing, yes, those megapacks may be cheaper than the ones we make in the US because the ones in the US have to deal with moving the batteries first to get them into packs to assemble into giant containers. Where in China, the cells are probably going to be made somewhere within a mile or 4, very close by. So the market demands are very different in China. But if you look at the cost of energy around the world, you don't see huge variances apart from places where it's heavily subsidized. So China's ability to pay for these kinds of things is probably not diminished much from other countries. So they're going to be able to get these on the market and quickly, and also use it as an export hub. And then on the fact that the market is not dwindling in China, there's some interesting charts that have come out this week showing the June numbers, and companies like NIO and Li and others have had, it's been a mixed bag. BYD surged this week. That's great for them. But I didn't have time to parse out how many of those were battery electric versus plug-in hybrids. But Tesla's foothold is doing well. A lot of people had expected Xiaomi with their exciting new desperately underpriced car to be dominating the market, but there's a limit to how many cars you can sell at losses that steep, and it seems they've found a level at which they're comfortable losing money, and they're not going to be growing past there until they can get their costs under control. So the Chinese market, yes, appears to be at least stable, and even for the factory, it appears now that there's a 2 to 3 week delay from the time you order your made in China Tesla to the time you get it, that means that they're just going to be cranking at absolute full speed.
So that's good news because obviously we were very concerned about China. Many people wrote off China for the rest of the year, and this is the concern. But luckily, yeah.
I don't think it's luck. I think you make your own luck in cases like this. And this is the problem with this. I've had people say it to me on X. This is clearly the end of the road. And I say, I have trouble believing that because you guys have said this to me every quarter since 2020. It's ridiculous.
So China continues to impress. Very good news coming directly from Grace Tao. So, you were talking about that they were still on track, which is great because here's April 17th. So this is several months ago. This is when they announced at that point that the construction is going to start next month and achieve mass production in the first quarter of next year. And so, of course, it's great to hear that they're on track. This is Tom Zhu himself saying this in May. So a couple months ago, Tesla Shanghai Energy Storage Superfactory is expected to be operational in the first quarter of 2025. So that's all very, very good news. Very happy that that's happening in time. Let's talk Morgan Stanley. Adam Jonas, every once in a while, quite regularly now, he's dropping notes. He's giving you what he's thinking and what their firm is thinking. And they do a little bit more research than others. So it's worth thinking about. In this case, it's a negative thing about what they think is going to happen to Tesla's future in China. And specifically, they're referring to robotaxi and the AI and the bots. So this is what they said. If Tesla were to solve the robotaxi problem, we believe it would be highly unlikely that the company would be allowed to offer such technology within China, People's Republic of China. The dual purpose element of embodied AI carries obvious national security sensitivities. So, they're just comparing that this autonomous cars and the autonomous AI actually can be used for both civil but also military reasons. So they're saying here that autonomous weapon systems target objects. Experts in autonomy have long suggested the civilian environment of city streets is more complex than a military theater. The technological overlap between civil and military applications of autonomy is high. Public concerns about information, data, and vulnerability to infrastructure. And then here's a few things that they're concerned about is the U.S. Department of Commerce has banned the export of advanced AI chips, right? You're not allowed to sell to China your AI chips like NVIDIA. So what is the stance on advanced AI-enabled robotics? So that's going to come. While Tesla's vehicles have been making inroads within China government circles, investors may question Tesla's long-term competitive position in such a highly sensitive and regulated industry. And then, of course, the robots, right? That is a national security and strategic concern. How would China do this? They've got other points, but let me pause there. What's your thoughts on that?
Big stuff here. The thing is, any tool can be used for evil. Any tool can be used for war. And these are just powerful tools. That's why the overlap is, it's perfect. If it's a hammer can be used to build something or tear something down. This is a hammer on a whole other level. So I understand the concern and I don't know what the solution is. The real solution is China's going to develop their own AI chips. They might be a couple of years behind. All this is going to do is annoy them and slightly delay the inevitable. But I understand why China wouldn't want to allow the import of these things, and I understand why the U.S. wouldn't want to allow the export of them. But what it's actually going to mean in the end is less clear. And it's not just the chips. It's the whole package. It's the cars. It's the robots. It's all of it. And we're in uncharted territory is, I guess, the bottom line.
Yeah. So at this point, it's a risk. We got to be aware of it. We need to follow it. I'm actually less concerned that China themselves will ban Tesla's AI and robots. Being the leader, Tesla being such a huge lead to everybody else, our opinion, makes it more likely that China will embrace Tesla there. Okay. But on the other side, this is where I'm concerned because the US might put some restrictions. If you're an American-based company, you can't sell. Now, tell me more about how Tesla's structured in China because, right?
So they had to China took a very bold step and got out ahead of this in ways no other country has yet. The first thing they did is they said, look, if you want to gather data in China, you have to sequester that data within our borders. It has to stay here. And that allowed Tesla to actually get things like autopilot to a level where it could potentially work and be a viable product in the market. If that data sequestration didn't happen, it wouldn't happen. And then the next step they took was said, okay, we are going to allow the export of certain classes of data. We're going to classify it as very generalized, a bit generalized, and way too specific to export. And we're going to try and manage it and see if it works. So just like there are free trade zones that can allow goods to be pass through tax-free, regulation-free. This is data that's allowed to leave the country in regulated, supervised ways. And I imagine a bit of it is on the ask forgiveness side, but this is something where I think companies like Tesla will be very careful to not overstep their bounds because it would ruin it forever.
Again, what I'm asking is actually the opposite of that, which is could US ban Tesla? Because Tesla did set up a subsidiary, I guess, in China that is almost 99% Chinese run, Chinese suppliers and all that. It's still an American company, so unless they spin it off, then it's still an issue, right? So
I don't know on that, but I'd be inclined to think probably not, because the data that is there can't go in that direction, and I don't know how valuable the data would be that it would collect on the. I think they're just firewalled against each other in both directions.
No, it's the U.S. government doesn't want their adversaries to have access to military use of AI, like powerful AI, robots, and so they'll restrict an American company from sharing that with the other governments.
I think it's above my pay grade.
Above mine too, but look at the bottom here. It says our A&D team, led by Christine Liwag and Justin Lang, notes a new bill introduced in the House that would make it easier for the Commerce Department to restrict export of AI models and increase Foreign Affairs Committee attention to the exporting of advanced AI systems around the potential for dual purpose applications beyond commercial use. So that's the thing. We'll have to watch that. Keep an eye on that.
I just don't know how you even attempt to regulate that. I don't know. It's not like with hardware where you can say it can do this many teraflops. There are extremely advanced models that are entirely useless. But yeah, this will be a tough one to. I don't know how legislators are going to be able to wrap their heads around it to a degree that this law would actually work.
Okay. So Adam Jonas, still very bullish, overweight rating on Tesla with a $310 price target. Okay. So good news. Something to think about. It's a risk. We should definitely follow. Okay. Well, this is looking forward to this one. Look at this great thumb, Brian. Great thumb. Love it. Look at you. Perfect. Okay. So this is you. You did a video. You are right now, Monterrey, Mexico. And you published this video in your channel, FutureAza. So I'm going to play some of it because, again, no one else is doing this. This is you on site interviewing people that know a lot about what's going on in Giga Mexico. Love to hear your thoughts. So let me play some of that. That's how it looks right now, huh? Beautiful. I wonder if this is copyright music I can use, dude.
It went out on my video, all right.
Okay.
Got Adrian CG, the drone pilot from here in Monterrey. I'm Brian. Welcome to FutureAza.
Oh.
So, what am I looking at? Where is it?
So that's the place where we saw the render.
Yes.
That whole area, it's where the main building should be.
Yes.
Okay.
and it should probably end around where we see that area where we have the rancho.
Yes.
That's the first phase of the project.
Okay. It's so much steeper. I mean, this isn't bad, but this is not theirs, is it?
It is. So
Oh,
it goes all the way there, and
Right to the foothills, probably.
yeah,
wow.
this area in the middle between the roads is also there,
Yes.
and that side.
Whoa.
It's so
Breaking
steep.
news,
So
huh?
this side is super steep. I don't think they are gonna build something in here until later on, like way later.
Wow. Wow.
Wow. So they own all of this?
Oh my
That's
gosh.
So of the
a
whole
lot
area,
of land.
that's the part that it's less steep, but it still requires
Yes.
a quite good amount of work. And it makes sense to build there because you have the power substation over there, you have the train access from that side. You cannot bring the train all that uphill.
It's too steep.
It's too steep. So if
Because
they
that
make
was
it-
a question a lot of people had is why don't they just
So if they make a train yard, it should be that all on that corner.
that's not too far. But any farther you're saying would be it's getting too much.
It's too steep.
All right. All right. So now do we get up in the air?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's his drone, huh?
Yep, that's his drone.
Little tiny
And you
thing.
have to do a.
Yeah.
It's one of the. It's not the smaller ones. He had a smaller one, but the winds are too strong.
He even had a smaller one. Jeez, that already looks small.
All right, we're good to go.
Look how small it is. Wow.
So what Rosh put on the video there is not the right area, but this is the right area. And yeah, it's really hard to tell. If you pause it right there, you'll see that it is actually, the ground is quite steep. Right just after that, right there, you'll see the ground is actually, the grade of the ground is quite steep and it's very rocky, which is going to make it very difficult for grading. And I've had a chance to talk with a number of construction experts and say, look, how much grading are we talking about? And they said, you can grade anything. It's a question of time and money. What one builder suggested they would do, he said, what I would tell them to do is do very little grading and just terrace the building so that you've got each basement gets smaller
Can
than
they
the
do
one
that
before
within
it.
factory though?
Why not? There's major manufacturing done on the upper levels of Giga Texas that are 50 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
So yes, you could do that, and it would save a whole lot of time and a whole lot of money. And people say, well, you can grade anything. Yes, of course you can, and in terms of the train, I had a lot of people say you can get a train up that grade, no problem. Just just customize it. We're not trying to customize. We want a train that can leave the factory and go all the way to the destination as is. Otherwise, just truck them down to the other end of the property. The big news is, I said, let's go to the permit office and see what we can find. And he said, oh, the permits are sealed. The entire development project is sealed. You cannot see it. There is no Freedom of Information Act here.
Yeah.
We don't even know the exact boundaries of the property, but it is believed to span the entire valley and go up a tremendous distance because there is not a lot there to get in the way. And so there could be, in the future, this could be an absolutely mind-boggling site.
Wow, there you go. Thank you for going there on site, because this is what he did. He said all of this on even this side of this road, on that side of that road, all the way up the mountains on either side. That is huge. Yeah.
And it looks remote, but it's not. You're 20, 30 minutes from town. They would just have employee shuttle buses like they already do for many of the sites, specifically Shanghai, but also Berlin. They would just manage transit to where people already live. Unemployment here is quite low, which is still about 8%, which means there's a whole lot of workforce here ready to go. And there's a good Monterrey is the factory of Mexico. It's the second biggest city in Mexico,
Yeah.
and it is the factory.
Well,
Parts come from here that go to Giga Texas already, and there's Kia or Hyundai. I think it's Kia has a factory here. They have the expertise, they have the manpower, they have the cheap electricity, they have the land. Now they just need a factory.
well, I appreciate you were there because the video proved to me that both of those highways are full of semis and they're backed up. Like this is busy, moving along. That's the main thoroughfare to get in and out. So you can see all the semis are there. So awesome. Thank you for that, Brian. That's great. Check out the whole video. Go to his site, FutureAza, and this is it. No one else is doing this. Going right in there and talking to the people on the ground. You've got other interviews coming up of all the key people there. Giga Mexico, while it's kind of like we were all anticipating it last year and then nothing. It's like one of those things where people forgot about it. But in my mind, don't forget about it. Because what's happened is Tesla decided, right, as we all know, they're going to create these more affordable vehicles. And so their attention right now is on the existing production lines in Giga Shanghai. That's why Tom Zhu's there. But once they show you the robo-taxi vehicle, once they showed you the third generation of the human bots, the humanoid bots, Optimus, you will see Giga Mexico go boom, and that's it. They know now what they're going to build, and they're going to build it fast. Unbox model, all that. That's expectation. So, yeah. What do you think?
Yeah,
Time
that plan makes so much sense. And remember, the big advantage Mexico has is that they have twice as many free trade agreements. In the video that we just watched part of, there's an interview I do with Adrian at the end where I've got my list of questions that I spent a month working on.
Yeah.
That I was able to ask him and get answers to a lot of those.
Good. Thank you for that. So a couple of fun stories to finish this off today. One is the Powerwalls in Texas. They're saving families. And so this guy says day 6 without power here in Houston. Wow, 6 days without power. You know, you think that we're living in the first world. And I say this because in Seattle, you know, we've experienced 3 full days of no power, you know, food running out of supermarkets, people around the block for gas just 8 years ago. I can't remember. Thanks for keeping my family fully powered up before and after Hurricane Beryl via solar and the Powerwall. My toddler, puppy, and wife truly can't thank you enough. So he showed some screenshots. Saturday was a Sunday. Your home was entirely powered by the sun. And then here's his Powerwall, 8 backup hours remaining. Tesla Electric designed for the Powerwall. It's a grid outage right now, so the Powerwall is providing backup power at this point, and great stats. Yeah, so Tesla Energy forwarded this to everybody. Says, glad everyone's safe. 7,000 Powerwall owners in Texas had over 200,000 hours of backup power last week. So, you know, it's going to become more and more common. Get off the grid, get your own Powerwall. These things happen, and you're going to be less impacted. Then this is fun. Tesla's filed 4 new trademark applications. So they trademark 4 different pieces of candy. Official candy names in the filings: Supercharged Gummies, Cyberberry, Mango Bolt, and Dog Mode Chill.
And you're giggling because you remember what I said before the show. Those sound like weed candies.
They do.
They do.
Supercharged Gummies. I want one.
Dog Mode Chill.
Dog Mode Chill. I want that one. So here's an example of a trademark for the Cyberberry. It's funny because the reason I'm bringing this up, obviously it's funny, but it's just another example of Elon Musk and what he's doing, right? 2020, 4 years ago, he said this: seriously, big candy suppressing R&D. When's the last time you heard of great new candy bar? And then obviously May Musk recently said, you know, she brought up that she enjoyed listening to this interview many years ago, and because she was actually there, like you can see her on the top left here behind Kristen, as they interviewed the third row podcast, that epic third row podcast interview of Elon. James Stevenson forwarded this saying, "Hey, Elon explaining in his own words why more companies should make more candy." So let me just play it.
Candy yet that's good enough to send out, but and it's But I think it's there's like 3 companies or something that control all the candy in the world pretty much, and dog food. Yeah, there's somebody constructed like this. It's this crazy conglomerate, and it's like dog food and baby food and candy, and it's like all, you know.
All the brands.
Yeah, and
Hundreds of brands.
yeah. You think you're buying from different companies, but it all funnels up to like 3 companies or
So
something like
gross.
that.
Don't send the rendering food to the candy company.
Yeah.
Big
so-
candy.
So you want to have like a good competitive forcing function so that you have to make the product better, or you'll lose. Like if you don't make the product better and improve the product for the end consumer, then that company should have relatively less prosperity compared to a company that makes better products. Now the car industry, you know, is actually pretty competitive, so that's good. So then the good thing about a competitive industry is then if you make a product that's better, it's going to do better in the marketplace.
All right. So
Kristen is so much fun. I had her on the show recently. We've got another video coming up very soon. But that whole gang is fun. And while that is all true, I mean, I could be cynical and say, yes, but in those 4 years, we've only gotten 1 new model of Tesla. I want all my Teslas too. Give me my innovations. But seriously, don't put dog food in the candy.
that's funny. Okay, that'll be fun. I mean, he comes up with these ideas and then he follows through. I mean, this is just for fun, of course. I don't think that this could be innovative. We'll see.
Well,
we might be surprised.
It could be innovative, but he has the power to bring absolute dreams to reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And he does.
Very unique.
Thank you very much, Brian. Check out his videos and specifically that Giga Mexico one and the Kristen interview as well. FutureAza on YouTube. Thanks, Brian. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Herbert.
I've created a website that is the most comprehensive resource for the Tesla investor. Please check it out. Simply go to my website at herbertong.com.